John Major Jenkins is here at Izapa in southern Mexico to decode the 2012 mystery. According to Jenkins, these ancient ruins are crucial to his investigation.
Here we are standing in the ceremonial center of the Izapan site. Right here, we're surrounded by temples and structures. This is the place that created the 2012 calendar. The carved monuments here at Izapa provide a direct window into what the people who created the 2012 calendar were thinking about.
The ancient Mayan Empire thrived in Central America from around 400 BC to its peak around 900 AD. Their civilization stretched from Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula south to Honduras.
The ancient Maya were very tuned into celestial cycles. They were brilliant mathematicians and astronomers, and right here at the site of Izapa, we have evidence for a very sophisticated astronomy.
The Maya also created an intricate calendar system that tracks cycles of tens of thousands of years. They used about 20 calendars, but the one that's raising all the concern and interest in 2012 is known as the long count calendar, which tracks world ages. The current world age began on August 11, 3114 BC, and ends on December 21st, 2012.
The idea of a world age is that there's a big cycle of time, and that represents one chapter or phase that humanity passes through.
This is how the Mayans wrote out their calendar, as a series of dots and lines. A modern-day interpretation would look more like this. Like an odometer, the smaller sub-cycles reset before the larger cycles begin counting up.
The long count calendar consists of basically 5 levels. You have the day cycle, you have the 20-day cycle, the 360-day cycle, the 7,200-day cycle, which is just under 20 years, and you have the largest cycle, the Baktun cycle, which is just under 400 years.
It takes 13 Baktuns to complete a full long count cycle, which spans roughly 5,125 years.
It's very clear that the Maya chose to end their 13 Baktun cycle on December 21st of 2012. It's an intentional placement. The reason has to do with this rare astronomical alignment. When the December solstice sun comes into alignment with the dark rift in the Milky Way.
The dark rift, as the Maya called it, is a band of interstellar dust, which runs along the center of the Milky Way.
There's this whole complex of meanings that are attributed to the dark rift, but the main meaning that it has is that it was a place of rebirth. It's the birthplace of the Great Mother, the galaxy, the Milky Way.
So why do we care about what the ancient Mayans thought about the year 2012? Because in the past, their calendars accurately predicted a wide range of natural cycles, such as solar eclipses and the movement of planets over thousands of years.
The Mayan calendar is a fascinating system of timekeeping. It is the single most accurate system of timekeeping known to humankind until the 20th century.
The Maya calculated the length of the solar year to within a few hundredths of a percentage point of what we know it to be today with our satellites and telescopes and computers.
So just what will happen when we get to the end of this world age on December 21st, 2012? Were the Maya trying to send us a message? And if so, what was that message? Ahead, we not only explore the Earth, we explore the heavens, looking for answers to why the Mayans ended their calendar in 2012.
My personal feeling is that the Mayans understood celestial mechanics. But how did the Mayans know this?
And later, we'll take you to Egypt with Boston University geologist Robert Schoch to search for evidence of a fabled Hall of Records, a vast and ancient building rumored to contain secret knowledge about past cataclysms and clues about how we might be able to avert future ones.
Some kind of incredible structure was here, very clearly.
And as the clock ticks down, see how far some are going to prepare for whatever may happen in 2012. All this when continues. With the clock ticking, our intense search for the truth behind 2012 is gathering speed. A trio of investigators, each with a different theory about what could happen when the Mayan calendar ends, is attempting to unravel the mystery before time runs out. John Major Jenkins' quest has taken him to southern Mexico, to an early Mayan settlement called Izapa, where he believes the 2012 date originated. According to Jenkins, the Mayan prophecy is about renewal and transformation, not death and destruction.
Here we are at ground zero of the Maya prophecy for 2012. Although the temples here are not huge by comparison to places like Chichen Itza or Tikal, these structures are very, very important for understanding the beliefs that went into the creation of the long count calendar.
Jenkins believes the structures at Izapa were laid out with astronomical precision in mind.
Here we have a pillar and ball monument. It's a marker for shadows projected by the sun. So it's kind of like a sundial. When the sun passes through the zenith at high noon, there are no shadows cast. These tell us that the Maya were very, very sophisticated in their astronomical knowledge.
It seems reasonable that with the naked eye, the Mayans would have been able to figure out annual cycles. But could the Maya have tracked an even larger cycle, one that lasts thousands of years? Many say yes.
They were totally dedicated to the study of the stars, and they would pass this knowledge down from really scores of lifetimes.
Through simple observation alone, the Maya are believed to have tracked the gradual movement of the constellations above us, a process known as precession of the equinox. It results from the Earth spinning at a 23-degree angle to its axis.
The Earth rotates at this inclined angle around the sun in its ecliptic. And during that yearly rotation, the North Pole is constantly pointing towards the same location in space. Now, if the Earth was a perfect sphere, this would be the end of the story. But the Earth is not a perfect sphere. As a result, there is an extra gravitational force that wants to pull something spinning on its side. Much the way when you spin a top, the force of gravity wants to pull the top over on its side and make it fall down.
So our spin becomes a wobble. And it is a long, slow wobble that happens to take about 25,625 years to complete one wobble. That wobble is what we call the precession of the equinoxes. Somehow the Mayans knew this. And they broke this 26,000-year cycle down into 5 subcycles. Each subcycle 5,125 years long, the length of the last great cycle of the Mayan calendar.
With just the naked eye, could the Maya really have tracked the precession of the equinox, a cycle that takes 26,000 years to complete? The precession of the equinox is tied to Jenkins' theory of galactic alignment, when the Earth and Sun line up with the center of the Milky Way. That alignment also occurs in a 26,000-year cycle. According to Jenkins, the galactic alignment is central to the Maya's 2012 prophecy. The whole idea of a 2012 prophecy was first brought to the public's attention in 1987 with the release of the book The Mayan Factor by Jose Arguelles. Arguelles went on to organize a day of New Age gatherings across the globe to mark the coming of the 2012 date.
But the important thing is that it's a beginning. It's the beginning of a creative dialogue.
This event horizon that occurred in 1987, the harmonic convergence, was to open the door on the last 25 years leading to 2012.
Arguelles is optimistic about our chances in 2012.
We will be going into what you might call an evolutionary upgrade. We're going from human to superhuman.
While Arguelles, Jenkins, and others see 2012 as a message of hope, still others believe the Maya saw something more menacing.
My take is they understood the sun, they understood astronomy. Don't ask me how. And they were able to deduce that something violent could happen.
In fact, starting in late 2012, our sun will begin the climax of its 11-year storm cycle. That's got astronomers of the U.S. government's Space Weather Prediction Center in Boulder, Colorado, bracing for a significant jump in solar flare activity. Could this be what the Mayans were predicting?